Hey, Steve here, and today I'm talking about making your kids drink from a fire hydrant. Made you think there for a second, didn't I? Well, that's something that we got to be careful of because sometimes in our classes we do just that. Think about that image. Ooh, that would be rough, wouldn't it? And it sure would be. So what you got to be careful of is that you're trying to give too much information in a little bit of time and you just keep doing it. I'm going to finish this. We're going to finish this. We're going to finish this. Boom, 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 boom. Understand what I'm talking about? I think you do. So we don't want our kids drinking from a fire hydrant. No, that would be bad. So in order to solve this problem, what we've got to do is we've got to plan. And in planning, we've got to break up the time of our class lesson. And we do this by doing something called blocking or chunking. That's right, blocking or chunking the time. Yay! What a cool concept. Blocking or chunking time works like this. You take the amount of time that you have given for the lesson and you break it up into segments. So for example, when you start planning, you do things like, I'm going to do 3 to 5 minutes for my opening, in which I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're going to do for the day, what we did yesterday, and this first activity coming up. And then you go into your first activity and you explain to yourself, you make a note in there that I only really want to go about 10 minutes in this activity. And this is what we're going to try and accomplish during that time. But you might give yourself a little bit about, somewhere around 5 minutes of leeway. So you could go 15. Now, one of the things you got to know about blocking and chunking and planning like this is that you got to keep in mind the attention spans of the kids. One of the things that you want to think about is that once you get to 10 minutes with the younger kids, you're getting close to losing them. So between 10 and 15 minutes is as long as you want something to take. With the older kids, 20 minutes could be your drop-dead deadline. But you want to think in terms like that because we do too often make things last way too long, and the kids stop listening and stop paying attention. And that's when they start getting in trouble, and you start trying to become a bouncer. Hey, stop that. Get over here, move over here, that type of stuff. You know what I'm talking about. So keep this in mind when blocking and chunking. By the way, when you break it up in time like this, now this is going to be controversial for some of you because some of you really love putting timers in front of kids. But the problem with it is, have you ever heard of Pavlov's dog experiment? Boy, say that 3 times fast. Well, that's the one where the experimenter, what he did was he associated a bell with dinner time with the dog. And then he pulled away the food to the point that when the bell would go off, the dog would start salivating. It was feeling hungry because the bell went off. It's time to eat. Oh, well, you'll do that with a timer or a bell or anything like that if you tell the kids and you show the kids the timer. They'll start going, we've only got 5 minutes left, 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left, 2 minutes left. Yeah, you get my point. You got to be careful with timers and showing them. And I know there's some really cool online ones that have fireworks when it's time's up. Bah! Happy things, fireworks, boom, boom, boom. You don't want to do that stuff because you're going to turn them into that dog where they start salivating when it gets time to change. Instead, use your smartphone, your Android, put it in your pocket or put it on you where it's a little buzzer. And all it does is remind you, it buzzes and reminds you that look at the time because it's getting close to when you want to shift. Because then this also gives you flexibility because you could make it go a little bit more or a little bit less. Blocking and chunking time. You're going to love it. Don't make your kids drink from a fire hydrant. Ta-ta.